What is up, YouTube? Merciless Nerf coming to you with another story time video. And I just want to tell you guys, thank you guys for all the support, all the likes, all the views, new subscribers. And hey, just keep helping a brother out. We're just trying to make it out here, all that good trash. But in today's video, we're going to be talking about my first SAT. Alright? Now this story pretty much alone is fucked from the jump, alright? Yeah, my score was low as hell, and I'm gonna tell you how I got there. All right, so if you're wondering how to get a low score on an SAT, hey, boom, here's an easy tutorial. All right, so to start it off, that morning alone, well, the day prior, I got home from practice a little late, and after practice, I still have to do homework and do other things that I do in my house and whatnot. Get my clothes ready for the next day, so on and so forth. So the morning of, I ended up waking up late as shit. Alright, so usually for my school, I guess, I know all schools are different when it comes to times you have to be at school in the morning. For my school in particular, we had to be seated by 8 o'clock. Alright, I didn't wake up till 8:15 that morning, so that should kind of give you a general idea of how late I was. And on top of that, the night prior it snowed, so I had to wait through snow in the morning because I wasn't gonna run through it. I was already late, so I was like, hey, hopefully they just don't start without me. I ended up getting to school, and thankfully they didn't start. And my teacher, she ended up bringing breakfast for us that day, but me being late and all, I ended up getting nothing pretty much. So on top of being late, I was hungry, and nobody wants to take it. I think this test was about 4 hours, maybe, with breaks included already with that time. So taking a test of that caliber with no food, it was a rough start of the day. So I get into class, get my stuff settled, and I notice a box of Pop-Tarts on my teacher's desk. And I low-key, finessed it. I went up there and just took one. I don't want to say I stole it. Maybe it was a part of the breakfast that she had for the class. But, I had to finesse something. I had to get something in my stomach that morning, or else I just wasn't going to do good. Didn't do good anyways, but, hey, maybe it helped a little bit. Maybe those 2 Pop-Tarts added a +5 on that test. So you never know. So I took the Pop-Tart, went back to my desk, and chilled out for a little bit. We ended up starting at 9 o'clock, thank God, but we finally begin. So the first portion I remember was English, English comprehension or something like that. But I know it was English for sure. And for this section, we were given an hour and 45 minutes, I want to say. And me and myself, with English, I was always pretty good in. My mom was a prior teacher, so whenever it came down to English, it was just an easy subject. She helped me out with it a lot, and I don't know, I just gravitated towards it more than the other subjects. And I would say science too. Science is pretty lit. We got to do some crazy shit in science class, and that's why I liked it. Science is cool. It's weird, but I'm knocking out the English portion fast as hell, just going through, and it starts out simple shit, and then it gets a little challenging, but it was pretty easy for me. So I end up finishing, I want to say, maybe 40 or 50 minutes into it. So from there, I'm like, yo, it's not like I can move on to the next portion, but the next portion, which I believe was math. I'm pretty sure it was math. And it wasn't like I could switch over to it because there's certain parts that require different things, and the teacher, I don't know if she was gonna look back to see if anyone started it or anything like that. So I go ahead, crack open that Pop-Tart. I ate both of them, and after I slammed that last Pop-Tart, I was possessed by tiredness or something, and I get the bright idea, let's take a nap. That was the move, that was the objective, that was the goal, to take a nap. Which was a stupid fucking idea, but hey, we still did it, boys. Took that nap. Ended up waking up, I want to say at the 5-minute mark, which wasn't too bad. I was already done with the section, so I woke up. I want to say a few minutes later, the teacher called out, this is the 5 minute mark, so on and so forth. And from there, I just kind of like went back and made sure all my answers were scribbled in properly and written down and all that good trash, filled in on the Scantron properly and all that. So we move on to the math portion. Now, the math portion alone had about, I want to say it had 3 parts, 2 or 3 sections, and math isn't really my strong suit. And yeah, like math, it's not that I suck at it, but when it comes to like really, really big equations, I guess you can say, that you have to like do one equation and then make that answer into another equation type of ordeal, like that's where shit starts getting stupid, and I'm just like, yo, like I don't have the time or energy for this. And it's not like I didn't study for this either. Like, you can't really study for the SAT. There's like certain subjects that they'll tell you that are going to be on there and stuff like that, but it's not like there's like an answer key or anything like that. You either have to know it or you don't. I guess that's where the studying comes into. But prior, I like for this, I just fucking winged it, and all that. But math section starts, and the first question wasn't bad. I remember it being like maybe like long division or something like that, and I knocked that out pretty fast. Like the simple math equations, I'll fucking eat up all day. But the second question was ridiculous. Like they just flipped the script on me. I don't know what it was. Maybe who knows? I got a fucking bad test booklet or whatever. Even though I'm pretty sure all the answers are the same. So yeah, I guess I just didn't fucking know that shit. And I'm going through this test. I end up skipping a few of them, but I'm kind of going through it like not fast, but like quick enough, And I want to say halfway through the first section, I felt like I was ahead of time. Maybe the timer was wrong or something. And yeah, so I look at the timer, and it's like a little ahead, and I kind of want to take a nap, so I go for it. I crank that fucking Soldier Boy. I'm taking that fucking nap. I'm doing it, and I wake up on a good time too. I think this nap was only like 10 minutes. So I wake up, finish out the first part of this math section, and I'm golden. I end up going to sleep again on the second portion. All right, I want to say like maybe a little less than halfway through, and I think I've mastered, sleep. In my head, I feel like, I can go to sleep at any time and wake up in a fucking heartbeat. I've been taking 10-15 minute naps all morning. What's stopping me from doing it just one more time? So I want to say a little less than halfway through the second portion, I do it again. I thought it was Jesus. I thought it was God. And I took this nap. Boys, I don't wake up till the end of the, I want to say 10 or 15 minutes, like the 10-15 minute mark towards the end of the third portion of the test. And when I wake up, I'm like, fuck. Because the sections that I had left alone roughly would take, I want to say, another hour and 40 minutes to 2 hours. And I have 15 minutes left to complete these sections. So that's the rest of the second portion that I didn't finish. And then all of the third portion that I haven't even touched yet. So I'm at this point, like, I'm fucked. There's nothing I can really do. So the easy answers, I just try to go through and, solve them as fast as I can, I guess. And I knew that some of them were right, but at the same time, in the back of my head, I was like, I just knew that I was fucked, especially with the much harder, like, questions. There was no going back. And I low-key tried to pull a finesse, I like looked to my right, and I was sitting next to a pretty smart kid. So, that's one thing I kind of relied on, but fucked up on at the same time, because these books were gray. You know, the words were in black, but the books themselves were gray. So if you're trying to look at a gray booklet with your peripheral and try to see colored in dots, it's not gonna work. It kind of blends in with like the shading, and you can't tell if it's either black words or a black dot. You know, so that wasn't going well at all, and there was just no coming back at that point. You know, there's no saving yourself. I don't know if the teacher seen me sleeping. If she did and didn't wake me up, that's pretty fucked up. But you know, it's still my fault, not on her. But you know, she could have been looking out for a guy. You know, but it's whatever. Bygones be bygones. So I go ahead and I'm just filling out random bubbles and stuff, trying to finish up as quick as possible. And I feel bad at this point. I'm like, yo, I really like let myself down, cause I'm a pretty smart kid, you know, good grades and everything. And I'm like, yo, my score is gonna be shit. And I'm just like, yup. Not saying that there's anything wrong with it, but no kid grows up thinking like, you know, I'm gonna be working a shitty job. I'm in my head. I'm like, yo, I better just, you know, go ahead and get my fucking custodian resume fucking ready, yeah, or fucking start sizing myself for my fucking McDonald's shirt or whatever. Cause I was pretty upset. Like I took this fucking to heart. Like I was pissed. I was I was very fucking upset. So for that SAT, I want to say I got around it was an 8 something. It was like an 840 maybe, which is fucking terrible. All right, to even have a considerably decent score, you need to score above 1,000. All right, and I'm pretty sure I've been told, I don't know if this is true, but putting your name down, like writing your name in the correct spots and actually spelling it correctly is 400 points alone. I could be wrong on that, but who fucking knows? If that's true, yo, I did fucking terrible. Like, yo, I did fucking trash. But yeah, I ended up getting around like an 840 something. It wasn't high at all. Nothing to fucking go home and tell your parents about. But the next time around, I ended up studying for it. Like, I actually took this to heart and like fucking wised up. You know, I just wasn't gonna give up on myself, I guess you can say. So I studied for it for like about a month. And the good thing about the SATs is you can take them as many times as you want. And the highest score you get remains like your permanent score. So let's say the first time you take the SAT and you get like an 8 something just like I did. If you take it the next time and get like a fucking 1500, you know, 1500 is your new SAT score. You know, they can't count your old scores against you as long as they get like uploaded to like the right people. So my second time around, I ended up getting around like a 1200 around there, which what isn't too bad, but like I think you want to be like higher than like 1300s, especially if you want to get accepted into like those good Ivy League schools. But yeah, you want to score above like a 1300 from what I hear. So the 12 wasn't too bad. It just showed like, wow, I had so much like if I was able to study for that month alone and get that much of a score, if I would have studied for like 2 maybe 3 months, I can only imagine the score I could have got, you know. But it's all good. We're not all geniuses, but it's a life lesson right there. Don't fall asleep during tests or anything majorly important. Just fucking suck it up and stick through it, you know. So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Story on my first low SAT. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Hopefully you guys learned something from this. And like, subscribe, share. Please go ahead, turn on that notification bell. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care. Peace.